to Review. My name is Luke Buckmaster, and in the program this week, Shakespearean garden ornaments fall in love in Gnomeo and Juliet, and James Franco gets caught literally between a rock and a hard place in director Danny Boyle's Oscar-nominated drama 127 Hours. Given the animation industry's obsession with breathing family-friendly life into inanimate objects, it was probably just a matter of time until garden gnomes got their own big screen adventure. They're colourful, kitsch, and they make for some pretty impressive looking animation in Disney's new 3D feature helmed by director Callie Asbury. Elton John was the executive producer of Gnomeo and Juliet. Apparently he has a thing for garden gnomes, presumably not as a bedroom-related peccadillo, although having said that, there are some cheeky sexual references hidden in the script. The story of this bright and glossy, quirky movie is of course pretty familiar. Two warring clans are constantly engaged in bitter battle. This time they're small and ceramic and separated by a backyard fence. Most of their fighting revolves around them vandalising each other's garden. Gnomeo, voiced by James McAvoy, is our lawnmower racing hero, and one fateful evening he bumps into our heroine Juliet, voice of Emily Blunt, and love is in the air. It's pretty clear from the outset that this version of Romeo and Juliet probably isn't going to end in tragedy. There's even an amusing scene in which one of the characters argues about this with Shakespeare himself, or at least a statue of Shakespeare himself, voiced by Patrick Stewart. No doubt about it, this is light viewing and the story is a no-brainer, but it's colourful, it's quick, it's fast-moving and intelligently written. The animation looks great, Gnomeo and Juliet has a really big heart, and it's refreshingly light on pop culture references. It does, however, end with the characters dancing, and that's a ludicrously overplayed, relatively new cliche in modern animation. Listen out for Ozzy Osbourne, Michael Caine and Hulk Hogan as some of the vocal stars. Gnomeo and Juliet is a very entertaining movie. It'll please the kids and it won't bore the adults, and it gets a green light from me.
Hello! Gnomeo and Juliet.
I can't go.
I know how you feel.
No, really. I'm stuck.
It was always going to be a tough job to make an interesting movie out of the story of Aaron Ralston, an American rock climber who went journeying by himself in a national park in Utah in 2003 and landed in one hell of a horrible situation. James Franco plays Ralston as a naive but confident climber chock full of pep and vigour. After riding around on his bike and going swimming with a couple of attractive young women, Ralston falls into a crevice and he gets his arm caught between a boulder and a wall of rock. He's all alone and it's up to him to save himself using a pretty ghastly rescue technique. Director Danny Boyle offsets the mundane premise of the story by pumping it full of flashy editing devices. There are split screens, time lapses, loud songs, extreme changes between close-ups and long shots and more. If Boyle doesn't overween the material, he comes pretty damn close. Although the protagonist is stuck in one place for most of the running time, you never really know where Boyle is going to take you. While 127 Hours is impressive on a technical level, the film's bouncy aesthetics and restless visual energy don't do its psychological core any favours. James Franco was Oscar nominated for this performance. He provides a likeable and effective human anchor, but the film lacks the emotional core it desperately needed for the story to resonate. It should have felt inspiring, one of those great triumph over adversity human stories. It doesn't. I'll give 127 Hours an orange light. Well, that's just about it for me for this week. Thanks very much for tuning in, folks. Garden gnomes and horrible rock climbing accidents. It's not a combination you're likely to see every week, but I'm sure next week I'll have some interesting things to talk about as well. Thank you, see you then.
Crikey.